Hi, I'm Joe, and today I'm going to do a book talk about The Light Between Oceans by M.L. Stedman. This is an Australian author and a book about Australia. So, yay, Australians! This is a story of Tom Sherborne and his wife Isabel. He is a lighthouse keeper on an island or rock. It's not really very big, that is half a day away from the mainland. So they are very isolated. They are happy newlyweds. Everything is okay, but then she has some miscarriages and it's very sad. And it's just the two of them. She falls into depression. He doesn't really know what to do for her. She doesn't really know what to do for herself. She's never been through this before. She's young and by herself, isolated from her mother, who she has literally lived with until she moved in with her husband. So, a couple years after they've been married and out on the rock, she has a stillbirth. Her husband was not with her at the time that she delivered the baby. It was extremely traumatic, as it would be, but even more so that she was all by herself. How absolutely terrifying. She was all by herself. And this throws her into a really deep depression, as it would anyone. They bury the baby, and her parents knew that she was expecting, but she didn't want her husband to alarm them because they were going to see her parents on the mainland, and she just wanted no one to know right now. She just wanted to be left alone. She didn't want anyone worrying about her. So they didn't like signal for help or anything. She just wanted to be left alone. Well, then one day she's out visiting the grave of her baby, and she hears a crying. And at first she thought it was just, her making it up, but then she saw a little boat. And in this boat, there was a dead man and there was a teeny little baby. Now, her husband has to keep in the logbook everything that washes up on shore. It might be parts of shipwreck, it could be a boat that went by in the distance or whatever. So a rowboat with a dead man and a baby comes up. This needs to be put in the record book, and also they need to signal the mainland, and so someone comes out. She's convinced him just to let it go for the day. Let it go. No one could come out that night anyway. They'd have to wait until the next day. She is just had a stillbirth, so she is able to nurse this baby. And this is where the story really begins. She has a baby now, a very small baby that they are easily able to claim as their own. So Tom is very by the book, wants to record everything, wants to do everything properly. At the same time, his wife Isabel is grieving, and this baby does her a lot of good, cheering her up. But it's always in his mind that this is not right. This isn't right. But he falls in love with the baby, and they never hear about any baby that is missing. And they just take on this child as their own. Then on a shore visit, they find out that Isabel can't have children. She went through menopause, and they also find out that there was a baby missing, and things really start getting hard for Tom because he sees this grieving mother that thinks her baby is gone. She doesn't know what happened to her husband or her baby. But then he also has Isabel, who is extremely attached to this child. He is attached to her also, and he's caught in between these two mothers, except the real mother doesn't know. I don't want to tell you all the stuff that happens because that'll ruin the book for you. And it is such a good book. It is a page turner. Oh my goodness. I was on the edge of my seat, not knowing what in the world. I felt really bad for Tom because he was caught between these two women. He was very sympathetic towards this grieving mother who was grieving the loss of her husband and her only child. And she would go to the police station every single day. Years later, every single day, she would go to the police station and ask if anything has turned up, any clues. And she sort of became the laughing stock of the town. She couldn't move on with her life, and she just wandered around looking for her baby because she believed that her baby was still out there somewhere. Things get turned upside down, and a person starts putting some clues together and realizes something out there on that rock is not right. Something with that family isn't right. And their world is turned upside down. What this couple does, do they stick together or do they turn on each other? Tom was never comfortable with this to begin with. He did it for his love of Isabel. Will his morals prevail, or will he stick by his wife? What will happen? I'm not going to tell you what happens. You have to read it and stay up really late because you can't stop reading it. And then you have to come back here and comment and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe this book. What? So if you've read this, let me know down below. We'll talk about it a little bit without giving anything away. If you haven't read this book, you need to go read it. It is heart-wrenching and heartwarming and just amazing. I loved it. I loved this book, and it's a beautiful cover. So that's all I have for today. I will see you later. Bye.